What's up, y'all? Hey, I want to say thank y'all for liking that video with Gideon and him catching a predator at the movie theater. Love it. I also want to say I'm sorry that the audio was so low. For some odd reason, uh, OBS made my audio low. I didn't change a thing in the settings, by the way. The settings have been the same ever since I started less than 28 days ago. So one day it automatically turned it off, and now I turned it up. It's up like 700%. The audio is. So without further ado, let's get into it. We're gonna be talking about today. Excuse me. Let me not get ahead of myself because I tend to do that. We're gonna be talking about the fires in California again because this is an ongoing topic, and I'm praying for everybody in California. If you're from California and you're safe, let me know. And if you're not, let me know. I'm praying for all my fans in there. If I have any, we don't got nobody for real like that. Well, we got some people. But again, if you are going through a tough time in California, I'm praying for you. My thoughts and prayers for you. Without further ado, let's cover the local news and what's been going on. Thank you. All right, let's get into it. First up, we got Ken 5, your San Antonio news source. Now, this is San Antonio, Texas. This isn't really local, but again, this is covering Los Angeles, so let's get into it.
Getting out of those horrific images that continue to come out of California, where at least 10 people are dead and more than 10,000 homes and other buildings have been destroyed. And at this hour, multiple wildfires continue to rage across Los Angeles County. In fact, about 153,000 people are under evacuation order.
153,000 people. Now, when I first covered this, I thought it was just like a couple fires, but when I seen how much it covered, I mean, she said over 100,000 people. That's insane. I was taken aback because I thought the fire department would just be on it and would be clearing it like that. Nah, I mean, they've been fighting fires nonstop, but yeah, it's these fires are everywhere, and it's the fires are going. They're crossing acres. They're burning acres like crazy. Again, I have no script, so if I sound a little bit weird, that's because I have no script. This is all off the top of my brain. I'm trying to get better at public speaking, so this is really helping me. Let's continue the video.
Charlie DeMar has the latest from Altadena, California.
Firefighters in Los Angeles County attacked the raging wildfires by air
Dang.
Friday. More than 55 square miles have burned so far.
Everything I owned was gone.
In an effort to prevent looting, a curfew will be in effect this evening in areas affected by the Palisades and Eaton fire.
Oh yeah, I forgot about looting. I think a lot. If you are in California right now, you have this weird choice, right? You have the choice to leave, obviously, but if you are a content creator, I know this may sound horrible and terrible, but outsiders like me need to know what's going on the front lines. So you have the possibility, as long as you don't go near the fire, you go to the aftermath of the fire, record what's going on, show people what's going on, interview the people that lost their homes, because this could be some type of not only evidence, but just showing outsiders what it's like what's really happening over there in Los Angeles. Because I've seen some clips, but I really want to see like front lines what's going on. Let me tell you what I've seen. I've seen news videos like these. I've seen a TikTok of a McDonald's burning, like a McDonald's sign burning. I've seen a TikTok photo of somebody on the airplane going to or from Los Angeles and them seeing the actual remnants of the fire and the aftermath of the fire burning. It was It looks like hell on earth. I'm not gonna lie to you. And yeah, that's about it. So I would like to see interviews of people who lost their stuff, lost their homes, excuse me, and just the aftermath of the burns. So if you live in LA, go ahead and fire up that camera. Perfect opportunity. You could really make a difference make a difference. I know I would if I had the transportation. Like if something happening in Cleveland, if this fire was happening in Cleveland right now, I would not only pack a bag, but tomorrow I would just drive up there, record everything that's happening. Obviously, it's snowing. Snow happens all the time here, so I'm not gonna make a video on that. Without further ado, let's get back into the video. I'm sorry for that long rant.
You cannot be in these affected areas.
Oh yeah, this lady right here is the mayor, right? So she cut the budget for firefighters by millions upon tens of millions, right? I think it was over 20 million. And then while all this fire stuff was happening, she was out of the country. She was in Africa. Obviously, she was on taxpayers' dime out in Africa. And then all this happened, and she came back. And they didn't let her get off the plane. They didn't even let her get into the airport. They got her as soon as she entered the terminal. Cameras all in her face, She didn't know. She was blindsided. Crazy. But I don't feel any sympathy for her because you cut the budget by tens of millions of dollars. And you had you didn't know what, and you didn't think something bad would happen. Oh, it's California. It'll be fine. No, something bad happens like this. And now you have to deal with it. If I was the people of California during the next election, she would definitely be fired. Definitely. She definitely. She doesn't deserve to be mayor anymore.
You are subject to arrest.
National Guard troops are patrolling the mandatory evacuation zone here in Altadena, where the Eaton fire has reduced home after home to rubble. This is what so many people here in hard-hit Altadena, unfortunately, are going to...
Oh my God. The fire burnt the car, burnt the entire house down. Oh yeah, the construction workers, I saw another video. The construction workers are going to be in the bag as soon as all this fire stuff is over. So if you need a job in California, become a construction worker. And also, it seems like land might be cheap there because it's burnt by the fire. So this is a perfect opportunity. And I hate to make I hate to make this into like a profit thing. And I know people are mourning and weeping over dead people and stuff like that. So I'm a mourn and weep too. I'm not going to talk too much about this. But this may be an opportunity to, if you're trying to move to LA, get a plot of land or file an insurance claim. I know big things have been sparking with State Farm and the insurance claim. And months ago, they cut the insurance claim for California fire insurance there. And that's kind of crazy to me. And then a couple months later, this big fire burst out, and they can't even be claimed. They can't even claim it. That's very crazy to me. The CEO should have definitely talked about this and said, "Hey, we're bringing the fire claims back for the people of Los Angeles at this time." For you to say, "Hey, your slogan is like a good neighbor, State Farm is there." You're not being a friendly neighbor. This is what I don't like about big companies. You know, companies starting up, they wanted to help everybody out. But then once these people, they sell out, the original owner retires and they go to another CEO. It's less about helping people out. It's more about margins, profits, and sales. I hate that. And it happens to good, honest, hardworking companies with good people in it. But it's just like the CEO makes all the shots. He takes all the shots. If he says, "Hey, take this claim down, you can't do anything else or you'll be fired," and then it's wrong, yet you still have to do it, it's terrible. Without further ado, let's get back into the video.
Going to be coming home to people who we spoke to who've been trying to get back to their homes say they are now frustrated that looting is a problem.
It's mind-boggling because I can't get in, but then looters could get in.
David Resendez says he can't believe someone would stoop so low.
I would guarantee they're not from here because this community, Altadena, is a tight-knit community.
At the White House, President Biden received a briefing on the wildfire emergency response, a day after promising the federal government will cover firefighting costs for the next 6 months.
We've got to be prepared to pay for it. And when we do, we got to build back better than we did before.
And as crews attack the wildfires from the sky, officials are warning.
Shouts out Joe Biden for paying for LA's firefighter costs. If you want to be a firefighter, or if you're a firefighter, this is another good opportunity to make a change. If you really care about the humanity and humans, make that shift. If you got a lot of money, go over there, ask if you can volunteer to help, because it looks like they still need help. Fires are raging rampantly. And I know if I lived in California, I would be scared of looters as well. Number one, I'd be scared for my life, so I want to evacuate. But then I'd be scared of losing my home as well as my car, and then any remnants I have left over, I would deem it be gone. I deem it gone. And then after that, I deem looters like
People not to fly drones. That's after one nicked the wing of a super scooper, grounding it Thursday.
Flying a drone in the fire traffic area is not only dangerous, but it's illegal.
LA County's fire chief saying the plane should be flying again by Monday, just in time for the next expected red flag event. Charlie DeMar, CBS News, Altadena, California.
This literally looks like hell on earth. Crazy. Let's get back into the other video. I was watching this video. Let's start it from the beginning.
As for 12
This is 12 News.
At 4, I'm Tram Mai, along with Troy Hayden, who's live in Los Angeles County, where crews are still trying to contain the massive wildfires ravaging Southern California. And the numbers are staggering. An estimated 10,000 struck.
50 billion. And then I have to ask this. If the federal government is covering the cost for the next 6 months for fires, who's going to have to pay for that? And your answer is ding, 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 ding. Us. We're going to have to pay for that. We're going to have to pay for that. And I get it. It's worth it. It sucks. Like, if I want to play devil's advocate, I'd say it sucks because it's not even in my state. It has nothing to do with me. But then I also want to say these are people who have lost their entire homes. They have nothing to go back to. So it's like the most I could do is give them $1 to help them rebuild, to the honest, hardworking people in California. But then to the people who are millionaires and billionaires, I really do not care. I'm going to be honest. Because you have so much money, you can rebuild yourself. But to the honest working people working 9 to 5s, getting out the mud, living paycheck to paycheck, I would help them out. Yes.
Structures have burned based on aerial surveillance, so that number is expected to grow. Another number that could likely increase the number of people who have died. Right now, 10 are confirmed dead, but as fire officials move on.
R.I.P. You see that? Let's take a look back. That's the before. So many houses by the shore. These are probably millions of dollars, by the way.
Right now, 10 are confirmed dead.
And then look at all that devastation. Fire's still going on. Most of the house is gone.
But as fire officials move on from fighting to recovery and assessment, it could be more. 56 square miles have burned so far.
56?
Now, for comparison, the entire city of San Francisco is just 49 square miles. And finally, this is on track to become the costliest wildfire disaster in the nation's history, with losses estimated to top $50 billion.
Okay, it's $50 billion costing. This is a prediction of how much it will cost. So they're going to be, not only are we going to have to pay for some of that, of course, we're not going to be paying for all of it. We have to be paying for some of it. But dang, I forgot what I was going to say. Well, I think things will have to be more expensive there. No. I can't say whether it'll be more expensive or cheaper, but I want to imagine this for a second. If your house burnt down and your car burnt down, what can you do next? You can't even go back to the place where you were at because it's still burning. So you have nowhere to go. Homeless shelters are going to be filled to capacity. So that might be a problem. Homelessness in the streets will definitely be more rampant. I think theft, obviously he said looting will be more rampant because people will see an opportunity from burning buildings to see. There's always going to be scalpers, scrappers, scammers, and looters. They're going to be looking for that. So on top of this fire burning, it's crazy.
We're not out of the woods just yet. We still have Santa Ana winds predicted for next week. So let's head over to Troy right now in Altadena with a look at.
And then I didn't know how windy it was in California. I did not know how fast these winds were going until I seen that McDonald's sign light up with fire. It's windy. I'm sorry. I did not think it was that windy. Nah, it's windy as hell.
At all the devastation there, Troy.
Yeah, Altadena is the epicenter of the Eaton fire, and I'll show you the devastation here in just a moment. But what happened was the fire started up in these mountains just to the north and swept down through these neighborhoods. And you can see this home right here looked like it just did a lot of planting in the front yard. Even this little sapling of a tree, you can see it still has the little post next to it trying to keep the tree upright.
Right.
The tree didn't make it.
Right.
The house didn't make it. You can see where they're going to have their garden out here in front.
Dude.
Only one structure on this entire block tram survived. And you're
whoever, I need to know who built this, because what did they make the material of the building out of? Because it didn't burn. Everything else burned except for this. How is that even possible?
You're looking at it right there. This little detached garage. Why? It's hard to say. There's a big tree right behind it. The house in front of it is burned. The house next to it is burned. It just shows you the randomness of these fires when they come through. That's the only structure that survived on this entire block. There is another home here in Altadena, though, that a lot of our viewers likely know, and it did survive. Take a look. And another good piece of news for Altadena, this is an interesting little street called Christmas Tree Lane, and you can probably see why. Big pine trees line both sides of the street. It goes for 3 or 4 blocks, and those trees still have their Christmas lights in them. And the good news, they are still standing, although they do look battered and limbs are on the street. Christmas Tree Lane survived this fire.
Christmas Tree Lane.
You can see smoke coming up from behind what's one of the most famous houses in Altadena. Look at the front of it here. If you're a fan of the show 90210, you'll recognize this as Brandon and Brenda's house from the show. So right now, it's still standing, even though there's smoke coming up behind it.
Crazy.
The house next to it, though, totally burned down.
Totally
right
burned
now,
down.
The 90210 house still stands.
How?
Yeah, and the last time we checked, it was still standing as well, but how close was that, the fire actually popping up behind it? Okay, so this is how it works down here. You can see this water truck.
This is the stuff I like to see, the front lines. Hey, if you're a vlogger or YouTuber, you need to be out here as well. You know, the news can only report so much, but you could report the raw, uncut version.
To the left, that water truck is assigned to the fire truck on the right. Those two vehicles and the crews that belong with them are on this street 24 hours a day. Their job is to put out any hot spots because, as you said, Tram, when those winds pick up again, could be happening over the weekend, could happen tomorrow, who knows. They're going to be here and make sure all the hot spots here are out so the embers don't blow down into parts that are not.
And we still don't know. I still want to know who started these fires. Because they said one of the fires were man-made. So I'm like, did they all start man-made? Was there like somebody who was like, was there someone who correlated this? Was there someone who said, hey, you go to this location, I'll go to this location, you guys go to this location, and we're all going to light it up at the same time. And we're not going to tell anybody, we're not going to report it, we're not going to do anything. And we just want to see how it goes. Because these, like, come on, man. It just doesn't start, I mean, it had to start from somewhere. Right? There has to be, if the government can find who killed the CEO of a healthcare company, they for sure can find out how these fires started and report back. Come on. That's the least you can do to these people who lost their homes.
Not burned yet.
Yeah, those images behind you, that is just still so surreal. I noticed that wooden fence along there. It almost looked as though, I think it's on the other side of you when you were showing us that still standing, you know, casita type of thing. That wooden fence, it almost looked as though it was melted. Like the way it's just, it's kind of like dripping, like that is just so wild. I mean, how it just kind of picks and chooses
It's actually burned up from the bottom. Yeah.
It's just, you know, and I'm also noticing too.
And I don't know how this would survive. And even the, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, you know, obviously it didn't look like a whole lot of people were on your street there. Is that also, you know, an area where police are not letting residents go back and see whatever's left?
Yeah, so this is a full evacuation zone, and you know, here's a reason why people aren't being let back in as of right now. I mean, look at this power line here. This power line is draping over. Now they have de-energized, we believe, these lines, but things like this are everywhere. We've seen big trees that are halfway blown over, and until those trees can get secured, you know, you walk underneath them and a big tree collapses on you. I mean, there's dangers everywhere you look. We're being very careful. We're staying in the street, we're staying on the sidewalks. But yeah, the public is not being let back in here yet. And that curfew is in effect, sundown to sunup. And National Guard, we saw for the first time today, the National Guard is guarding all these entrances.
Okay, that's good. Yes, definitely be careful where you...
All right, man. So, closing statements. Praying for all the people in California. I hope that your insurance claims get through. I hope your insurance companies cover you. I hope your insurance companies help you out during this rough time. I hope the city of California, the city council, the governor, and everybody else help you. I hope the people help the people, more importantly, of California. And you can rebuild. You will rebuild. I just hope that it's at a steady pace, at a quick pace, but a steady pace. I hope that everybody gets their house back, and no more lives are lost, for sure. And if you live in California and you want to reach out to me, go ahead, man. I'll talk to you. I want to make sure you're safe. I care. I care about the people. If I was a firefighter, I would want to travel over there. If I was a firefighter and I had money, I would definitely take a leave of absence from my local firefighter county or wherever, how this works, my local fire, my city here, and either drive there or take a flight to California to volunteer, because they need it. With that being said, that's the end of the video. If you like this, let me know. If you don't, you can't say I don't like this. You can't be a hater, man. That being said, peace. Love you.